Smoke billowing across the state line right now from a grass fire in Alfalfa County, Oklahoma, that officials have been battling all afternoon. As many as 20 agencies are teaming up to fight the flames fueled by dry and windy conditions. Yeah, we do have a crew on scene right there. We're hoping to get some information from them. But here's what I can tell you right now. There are fire crews gathering to help combat a large fire. This is right across the state line. This is happening in Alfalfa County. Our crews have seen heavy smoke coming from that area. The National Weather Service tweeted that as many as 20 different agencies are being called in to help put this fire out. We do know right now one of those agencies, Kiowa, providing some mutual assistance. Again, our crews are on that scene right now, and I'm told we do have Katie Johnston there. Katie, what are you seeing down there?
Thanks, Mike. I'm at the northernmost part of this fire. Hasn't crossed this street over here. It's McLean Street. Hasn't crossed that street yet. There are still a few smoke plumes around me, but a fire chief tells me this fire is mostly under control. Officials believe that the fire started near Byron, Oklahoma, and spread north from there. Burned about 15 square miles since then. And like you said, at least 20 fire departments have responded to this area. A couple miles south of Kansas, including Harper and Anthony fire departments, are all here. Officials say there is either a tree or a hay bale on fire behind me here. They are currently working to put that out and monitor the large amount of smoke that this fire has produced.
All right, Katie, thank you. We'll keep checking in with Katie. Be careful down there as those winds continue to whip those flames. Also following multiple grass fires in Reno, Rice, and Harvey counties. Rod Zook with KWBW says crews have been fighting grass fires near 10th and Hendricks in Rice County. Crews near the Reno and Harvey County line are putting out grass fires near 30th and Woodbury and 17th and Worthington. So far, no reports of injuries or damaged buildings from those fires. We now know the fires in Clark and Comanche counties have burned more than 500,000 acres.
The fire in Reno and Rice counties has burned more than 6,300 acres and destroyed 8 homes. Our team has been talking with many as they try to pick up whatever's left. Katie Johnston was with one family as they learned their home was gone.
Imagine waiting for days, not knowing if your house is safe or if your pets are even alive. Sherry Chance had to wait until today to find out what she has left to come back to.
We got a phone call from the sheriff's department that my house was one of the ones that was damaged in the fire.
Sherry Chance says she had no idea the extent of the damage until I showed her a picture we received.
Oh my God. Oh my God, I lost everything.
But Sherry said her biggest concern was her 5 horses she had to leave behind.
I can replace the house. Some of the things in it, I know I can't. Just worrying about the horses and not knowing.
But then we got another picture.
Oh my God. Oh, they're there. Oh my God.
The family that Sherry couldn't take with her. All 5 of them are there.
Oh my God, I'm so happy. That's just great. I know. I'm just so happy.
The sheriff tells me that families that are facing devastating losses will be escorted to their homes tomorrow.
While many were forced to leave their homes, others chose to stay even as the fire came right through their yards. Rachel Skida talked with one man who stayed put.
Well, apart from burnt grass, you won't see much just driving through the evacuation area. But once you drive up some of these dirt roads, this is what you'll find. Buildings and homes like this one that have been destroyed. And I talked to a man who lives in this area. His property went up in flames, but his home was untouched.
Brittany Thomason is live in Augusta with what firefighters are warning us to be on the lookout for this weekend.
This is the scene of that structure fire in Augusta, but the main concern for firefighters have been grass fires. With the dry and windy conditions, firefighters worry this weekend could be busy and dangerous. This demonstration shows you just how quickly this dry, matted grass can burn. It comes from the empty field just behind Wilda Mueller's backyard.
I am really scared that if it caught fire, it could take our homes.
The grass is really thick and matted.
Butler County Fire District Number 3 Fire Chief James Wajak agrees Wilda could have a big problem if the grass caught ablaze.
It's just tinder dry, and if it were to ignite, it would just spread like wildfire. It would just spread across this pasture in no time at all.
The problem this year, says the chief, is we have so much fuel.
After everybody cut their hay the last year, it continued to rain. We had a rainy summer, and so the grass grew quite a bit after the cuttings.
A dry and windy weekend ahead means Wilda is extra nervous.
If it would catch fire and the wind was just right, it could just annihilate this whole area.
Chief Wajak only has volunteer firefighters working this weekend, but he is prepared by making sure enough of the crew will be in Rose Hill in case flames get out of control. Wilda has her own way of preparing.
I'm very, very observant. I watch diligently, the area, because it's so scary.
Keeping her eye out for an approaching blaze. This is the second structure fire in this area today, and firefighters say it is a little surprising considering their main concern were those grass fires.
Grass fires across the state keep firefighters busy all day. That threat will continue throughout the weekend. We have Team 12 coverage to bring you the latest on the high fire danger.
We want to begin with Katie Johnston, who's near Harper County, as crews fought to keep an out-of-control fire in Oklahoma from crossing into Kansas.
Fire crews have been tackling this fire along the Kansas-Oklahoma border for nearly 12 hours. I spoke with one man who says the flames they've been battling are on his father's farm.
I had a friend in Goddard that called me and said, "Where's all the smoke from?" And I said, "Well, it's from Dad's farm."
Monty Hess's family farm was one of the many lots affected in the 3,000-acre burn near the Oklahoma-Kansas border.
I work for Harper County, and I've been seeing the fire all day. I just wanted to make sure that the neighbors was all right and everything, and everybody was out.
An Oklahoma National Guard helicopter and 15 fire departments responded to the fire south of Waldron, Kansas.
We're experiencing 25-mile-an-hour winds today. Relative humidity was about 17%. From there, the fire it just expanded beyond our control.
Despite the weather, Rockenbach says the most difficult challenge was the terrain.
We've actually struggled with getting graders stuck. We've had trucks stuck today with the moisture and stuff that we've had over the last month.
One local landowner tells me she was worried what she might come back to. Her deceased daughter's vacant home sits in the affected area.
It is really, really bad. So I knew it was a fire, but I didn't think it was this bad. I just hope it didn't burn it clear down, because I do still have some stuff in there.
She says she's thankful no one was injured in the fire.
We replace other things, but you can't replace life.
While this fire near the Kansas-Oklahoma border is under control, crews say they are preparing for similar weather conditions tomorrow.
Fires burning across Kansas right now as the extreme fire danger we've been warning you about continues in these weather conditions. Most of the state currently under a red flag warning. We have crews north of Hutchinson where large grass fire has been burning for several hours. Here's a look from our cameraman right now live in Hutchinson. You can see really just a lot of smoke in the air again. This fire burning all afternoon. Now, our crews haven't been able to get up close and personal with the fire because firefighters are advising us it's just too dangerous at this point to get any closer than what you're seeing now. We'll have some more pictures of this fire in just a little bit coming in from viewers. We also have a fire at Highway 254 in Hillside today. We are told it is under control and crews are monitoring hot spots. It started around 3 o'clock. You can see in some of this video it was just right on the side of 254 by an overpass there. Again, we're told this one is under control right now, but crews are out there keeping an eye and making sure it doesn't cause any more damage or any traffic dangers. Another fire burning right now in Rooks County near DeMar. We're told this fire is not currently under control. Nobody's been injured in that fire and no buildings are destroyed. Dispatchers didn't have a size at this point. We've seen some video online and it looks like it did burn quite a bit. They tell us, though, again, it's not under control at this point, so please be careful in that area. With the fires across the state, you've been sending in pictures and video from what you've seen in your area. Here's a look at some photos submitted through our website and our mobile app, KWCH 12. Carrie sent some photos in of that the smoke in Hutchinson. You saw a live look of the fire a little further away earlier. Deborah Slack took a photo of some heavy smoke. These fires, check it out, just clearly doing a lot of damage there to the grass. Hopefully everybody's okay. We've got a crew out there again, and we will get some of these. If you have any photos, you can submit those to us online or on our mobile app, KWCH12, KWCH.com, of course, online. You can put them right there. Of course, that leading to firefighters across the state with a busy day, putting out several fires around south central Kansas, including one that still continues to burn. This fire started just off of 254 in Hillside, just north of our studios around 3. The video was taken from our station at 37th and Hillside. Some of it that you see right there, you can see the smoke from the fire billowing up. That's on a ramp right near the highway there. Firefighters eventually did get that fire under control. This is the one we were talking about that's still going tonight in Hutchinson. Firefighters are expected to keep fighting it well through the night and into the morning. It started at 2 o'clock this afternoon. So far, it's caused damage to at least 2 structures, but firefighters don't know the extent. They do believe they have it contained, but they're expected to continue working on the problem areas throughout the night.
There's multiple hot spots. We've called in crews from all surrounding counties. We've also made a request for more additional units from the surrounding areas. This is going to be an all-night event into tomorrow. The winds aren't going to give us a break, and the fire conditions aren't either, so this is going to be a long, drawn-out process.
Another day of red flag warnings across the state, and we have more fires to handle out there. Brittany Thomason is live in Hutchinson, where wildfires forced evacuations near the Crazy Horse Golf Course. Brittany, what can you tell us?
This is in the Highlands area. Mostly we've been seeing a lot of smoke in the air. Take a look. Occasionally we'll see some flames pop up, then they'll go away, and then they'll come back up. Crews tell us no one was hurt in this fire. Several hundred people were evacuated, but a captain tells me he expects they will get to return home in the next few hours. Only one structure had some damage according to crews. It was just a home with some damage on the side paneling. The captain isn't sure how long it will be until firefighters can be done for good, but we will continue to monitor this fire and keep you updated with the latest.
All right, Brittany, thank you. Let's take a look at the areas affected in Hutchinson that we're talking about here. Here's a map of that area. The Jupiter Hills fire and another wildfire near the Crazy Horse Golf Course have burned several square miles. Authorities are asking you to avoid the area while they work to get everything contained. And again, people have been evacuated from that area. Sarah, these crews in Reno County have been fighting fires more or less nonstop since Friday afternoon. Any relief from the wind in store for them tonight?
No, not tonight. In fact, we'll have to wait until a few more days to see any relief from that wind. Still windy right now, coming in from the southwest at 25 miles per hour in Wichita. Hutch, where we're seeing those fires, 24 miles per hour. But look at these wind gusts, up to 35 miles per hour in Hutch, 39 in Wichita and Dodge City. It's windy really for most of the state, and that will continue over the next few days. So we'll continue to have that extreme fire danger through at least the start of the work week, because the dry air, windy conditions, and the warm weather will continue through then. It's going to be warm and windy for the rest of the evening, with cloudy skies in Wichita. We'll be into the upper 50s, 58 degrees by 7, and we'll stay into the upper 50s really all evening. Not going to see the temperature change very much because of the cloud cover, but the winds will start to back off just a bit. Still breezy, though, about 20 to 25 miles per hour. I'll let you know when we could see our next chance for rain that might help out with some of this fire weather in your forecast coming up. Jacob?
From KWCH 12 Eyewitness News, breaking news.
Flames continue to light up the sky over Reno County tonight as crews try to bring a grass fire under control that continues to threaten homes. It's the same situation in Clark County, where the flames have surrounded the town of Ashland. These are just 2 of the many grass fires burning across Kansas tonight. We have crews across the state tracking the danger to you and your home. Dee Dee's son's north of Hutchinson, where she watched a once-contained fire grow quickly back out of control. Dee Dee?
Roger, the winds continue to burn here. The winds continue to blow here, rather, and the fire continues to burn north of Hutchinson. What we're seeing now mostly is just an orange glow, but fire continues to periodically erupt across a half-mile east of here. The latest fire started this evening about 5 o'clock, and the wind pushed those flames over a huge area. A lot of those flames were very close to homes. We know fire crews tonight have been working defensively, forming a line outside of town to try and prevent the fire from reaching homes in Hutchinson. Again, emergency crews have told people in this area to evacuate. Evacuations include Monroe to K61, from 95th Avenue to 30th Ave, 108th Ave to the Hutchinson city limits, and Plum Street to Lorraine Street. So again, a large area. We have not heard the all clear yet. And as I mentioned, we do periodically see those flames shooting up into the sky tonight. People who live in this area tell me it's devastating to see this huge area burn.
To look across here and see what's going on and to know these people, these are my friends. I know that's a house over on Golden Arrow. That's somebody's house. It's way worse than yesterday. I've seen winds like this, but to have them come up now, what a perfect storm. It's terrible. Couldn't be any worse.
Wildfire also struck this area yesterday, and Reno County was already in a state of emergency when this fire broke out. So it's going to be another long night of working for fire crews.
There are still two very distinct areas where we can see smoke tonight on the radar. One of them, of course, coming out of Reno County, just to the northeast of Hutchinson. The wind, as we come on the air, at 29 miles per hour. That is the gust. Of course, the wind speeds will be a little lower than that, and this plume of smoke being carried off to the southeast. Here's the good news as we go into the night around Hutchinson. Although we don't get rid of all of the wind, it does continue to go down, so that wind speeds will be back down around 15, maybe as strong as 20 miles per hour. But we really expect the wind to continue to ease some in the next 4 to 5 hours, and it will come back more to a westerly direction in the early morning hours of Tuesday. The other fire that we can see is that one that's burning down here in Clark County. We've been seeing a lot of smoke earlier this afternoon. Things beginning to calm down just a little bit. You can see that persistent trail of smoke there being carried off to the southeast, but now that we're starting to lose some of those smoke signals, hopefully that's an indication that they're starting to get that fire under control. The wind has already started to back off across western Kansas. That should be the trend from west to east as we go through the remainder of the night. But tomorrow, we've got another windy day coming up for Kansas. There is some rain out there on the radar tonight that we'll take a look at coming up in just a couple of minutes.
And firefighters have made headway near Wilson. Fire forced people in that town to leave this afternoon and even closed I-70, which is now back open. Brittany Thomason is there. Brittany, where's the fire now?
This wind isn't helping firefighters beat the blaze. Take a look behind me. The sky is glowing orange from the blaze. Over here, firefighters fill their trucks with water. It has been a terrifying day for first responders out there fighting the blaze. Flames sparked north of I-70, the interstate closed to drivers. But that doesn't mean they didn't try to drive through anyway.
It was pretty scary. But I grabbed a guy out of his truck and semi-truck, and we were driving with fire on both sides, zero visibility, and just praying we made it.
All Trooper Todd could think about was getting to safety.
Get out of there. Leave. Smoke coming in, can hardly breathe. We're just hoping to get out of there. I was just hoping that there wasn't a car stopped in the middle of the road that we would just run right into.
He made it out, and firefighters continue to battle this blaze as it moves southeast.
East of here, it's still zero visibility. Fire's jumping the interstate, and they're trying to get it.
He says the fire damaged some homes.
Right now, they're mostly just some farmsteads in the area right now in danger, and we are evacuating them.
Firefighters fill their trucks with water down the road.
I'm not a big fan of fires.
A scary day for the men on the front lines trying to extinguish the flames. If you were evacuated from Wilson, Trooper Todd says it is safe to return home now. And those flames that were heading southeast, he says those are now contained.
Winds will be backing down a little more tomorrow, and then even more so Thursday. We'll talk about that positive side to our forecast in a few minutes.
Firefighters have spent hours in the Highlands neighborhood north of Hutchinson working to keep this fire away from homes. We had crews stationed there yesterday as that fire rekindled from the weekend. Pilar Pedraza is in Reno County right now. Pilar, take us through what it's like up there.
Well, it's a lot calmer right now. There's pretty much no wind at the moment, and you cannot see the fire anymore from where we stand here at the edge of the evacuation zone. All you can see are the lights and the fire trucks coming through as they pick up water to take it back to the firefighters fighting those flames. Now, they're being very careful to keep folks out of the evacuation area. But one thing we know is that humans weren't the only people evacuated. Many of them brought their four-legged furry family members with them. And since they can't stay in the Red Cross shelters, well, there are lots of volunteers working to make sure the animals have a safe place to stay as well.
They can't shelter at the Red Cross with pets and humans in the same building.
But Hutchinson and Reno County do have a plan for when folks evacuate with their furry family members in tow.
That's why the Sedgwick County Animal Response Team is setting up this temporary emergency animal shelter at midnight, just a few hundred feet up the street from the shelter for human fire evacuees.
We can take care of dogs, cats, any kind of small pocket pets.
Before their arrival, the city shelter opened its doors to pet owners like Dorothy Gillette Payne.
I'm so grateful because a lot of people in emergencies leave their pets behind or stay behind because their pets are there and they don't want to move them, and that's not safe.
And if animals are too big for this shelter, there's a plan for that too. Lots of folks in the fire zone have horses, and they're stabled on the fairgrounds as well. The entire idea is to make this emergency as easy as possible on the animals and their humans. Animal rescue volunteers say they'll be there just as long as they're needed.
Right now it's at a small capacity. We hope it stays that way. It's just a matter of how long it takes for them to find a place to be able to go with their animals.
Now, the big question many people have this morning is, when will law enforcement raise these barriers and let people start making their way back into that fire zone, that evacuation zone, to find out if they have a home left to go back to? We may learn that answer at a briefing that's expected after 9 o'clock this morning from Reno County Emergency Management.
All right, Pilar, thank you. This is the area she's talking about that was evacuated in North Hutch between 108th Avenue and 30th Avenue to the south. On the east, there's K61, the main highway leading north to one of the main highways leading north to McPherson. The western boundary is Hendricks Street.
That's all some can do in Reno County as evacuation orders are still in place. More than 6,300 acres have burned in Reno and Rice counties. It's one of the priority areas firefighters are working. The other areas in Clark and Comanche counties. At one point, the fire had surrounded the town of Ashland. Now the threat has moved to the town of Protection.
21 counties have been affected by fires this week. Our reporters have been out all night and day tracking them. We begin with Rachel Skydup, who went to the front lines with crews in Rice County as they work to put this fire out.
I'm on the Rice and Reno County line right now, and you can see there are some firefighters back here behind me. Now, they've been going back and forth all day between here and the fire area, which is just directly to our south. And I was actually able to go along with a crew from Rice County to get an up-close look at how they're battling this fire. Long days and nights for firefighters as gusty winds fuel the flames across Reno and Rice counties.
What we've been fighting more than anything, it's the trees.
Dustin Schultz is one of dozens from Rice County monitoring hot spots.
For the most part, Rice County's kind of trying to take care of everything west.
But the sandy hills in the region make it almost impossible to navigate certain areas.
And there's some spots that are wet and swampy in the lows. So it's really hard to access that kind of stuff.
Many are working with little to no rest.
Yeah, we got an hour of sleep here and there.
And just as it seems the fire is dying down, another flare-up.
The wind makes it hard to tell where things are coming from because you don't know if it's coming from 10 feet away or a quarter mile away.
As crews from across the region continue to fight this fire, Schultz has a message for his fellow first responders.
We just hope everybody's being safe.
Earlier today, people from the community delivered about 40 pizzas donated by Gambino's Pizza here to the firefighters, along with some more supplies that they needed. Now, the firefighters tell me it's small gestures like that that help them get through these long days.
Thanks, Rachel. Evan Fastbinder is live and taking us inside their home away from home.
We know the fires are still burning here in Clark County, but nearly 50 firefighters were able to take a break, get some sleep, eat a little bit at the high school here in Ashland. And that's not the only thing that high school is doing. While a library is often thought of as a quiet place, it's usually not this quiet. Dozens of firefighters from other cities and counties are using this Ashland library to take a rest.
One thing that we've tried to do is really become just another resource for the fight and the effort against the grass fires, and a resource for our volunteer firefighters.
Ashland School Superintendent Jamie Wettig says since Monday, when evacuations began in Ashland, he hasn't had much time to think.
You know, it's really been kind of surreal. Haven't really sat down to take it all in yet.
In the meantime, he and tons of volunteers have designated the high school as a gathering place for donations and firefighters.
Bernie Thomason was there as Senator Pat Roberts toured the damage today.
Today, Senator Pat Roberts was here to assess damage in Clark County. This is a look at fire damage in Inglewood. Garrett Woods' home is now just a pile of rubble. His garage, melted metal.
It hasn't really completely hit me yet. I'm still trying to work through the process.
Gary is one of several people who met with Senator Pat Roberts to talk about the destruction. Roberts expects a declaration from the president, and he has asked the Department of Agriculture for assistance.
There are about 5 federal programs involved. The Livestock Disaster Program and the EQIP program are the 2 that are most helpful.
If you need assistance, the senator says you should take pictures of the damage and have an estimate of what you lost. But Gary says the greatest treasures can't be replaced.
Lots of pictures and a lot of mementos from the grandkids.
People in Inglewood are helping to collect donations. Right now, they really need hay and fencing. Brittany Thomason, Eyewitness News.
Next week, 2 multi-agency wildfire is now 100% contained, according to the Reno County Sheriff's Office, as people begin to clean things up. Over the past week, 5,400 acres burned there. It took 75 firefighters working on the fire to get it under control. 2 people were injured, and open burning is still not allowed. We talked to one person who's still trying to clean up. She lost a barn in the fire and several cars, but now she says it's time to move forward.
You don't give up. We're Kansans. We don't give up. And like a phoenix, we'll all rise from the ashes.
In Clark County, the Oklahoma Forestry Services provided a new picture of the damage out there. They say 75% of the county has been burned. Unbelievable. 34 buildings and structures were damaged, including 21 homes and 3 bridges. 1 person died and at least 7 people were injured. A local veterinarian estimates between 3,000 and 9,000 cattle have been lost. Well, victims of the fire have seen several businesses and organizations go above and beyond over the past week, including the Pizza Ranch in Hutch. When the owner returned to her home, which was in the evacuation zone, she noticed several people still needed help. That's when she made the call to her shop and told them to start making pizzas. After they were done, she picked them up and started hand-delivering them to her neighbors affected by the fire.
Getting home and getting inside the home, you know, do things that you normally do, just walk around your house and feel, you know, blessed that everything is still there. I took a quick shower, opened the refrigerator, and realized everybody else in our neighborhood was doing the same as I was doing.
Pizza Ranch also offered free buffets to emergency crews this week who were out fighting those fires. Goodwill also joined in.